Okay, hello everybody, good morning everyone, and welcome to this special webinar. My name is Soledad Diaz. I'm Managing Director of the Spanish Association of Science and Technology Parks, APTE. And this webinar is about international use cases of disruptive technologies, and it's organized by a Spanish technology platform for disruptive technologies that we call Disruptive, and it's managed by our association, by IPTE. Disruptive is one of the Spanish technology platform funded by Ministry of Science and Innovation through a Spanish Science Agency, and it's focused in the promotion of knowledge, development, and application of disruptive digital technologies. Currently, Disruptive has 376 members from different kinds of entities, companies, universities, R&D group, technology center, etc. But all of them have one thing in common, a big interest in digital transformation. The aim of this webinar is to promote knowledge, and in this case also the international collaboration of companies and entities interested in this type of technologies. In fact, today we have participants from 6 countries: Portugal, Greece, Thailand, Bulgaria, France, and also, of course, Spain. Before proceeding, I would like to thank Portuguese Association of Science and Park, the Parques, and also 4 of its members, Taguspar, Lispoli, Nonagon, and Instituto Pedro Nunes, for helping us to contact with these companies that are participating in today's webinar as speakers. And also we thank the International Association of Science Park and Areas of Innovation, ISP, for helping us spread the event of its member around the world, okay? The attendees of the webinar can write in the chat the question that they want to ask to our speakers, and then they will answer at the end of the event once they have finished their speeches. In today's webinar, we are going to learn about finally three, because one of our speakers is unable to attend the webinar because health problems. So we have 3 use cases of digital technologies of 3 companies focused in different sectors and located in the Portuguese Science and Technology parks mentioned before. 2 of these companies are going to explain us how they are applying artificial intelligence, and the other one is going to tell about 5G and augmented reality applications. Each speaker has more or less 12 minutes to present the use cases. So let's go to know the first one from the hand of Soraya Gadit. Soraya Gadit is CEO and founder of InnoCrown, a company located in Taguspar. So when you want, Soraya, the time is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I hope all are listening well. I'm going to share my my presentation. So again, many thanks for the invitation to present my company. I am the CEO and the founder of InnoCrowd. I have always been dedicated to R&D and innovation. I'm a pharmacist, but in 2011, I found that to be in a real innovation sector, I had to found a way to put the worlds in connection. So I found a way to develop, I'm so sorry. I found a way to develop a platform, Web 2.0, to connect researchers from all around the world, and to put these researchers from all the universities in connection with organizations in order to accelerate innovation. Because I thought that 5 or 4 people in one room together will not go to accelerate innovation. So that's what we do. So in 2011, because we did not have artificial intelligence, we only did this. So we developed a Web 2.0 platform, and we put in contact researchers from the best universities with organizations that wanted to innovate in their organizations. But we have grown very fast, and the solvers, the researchers in our platform started to grow. And right now we have 1.6 million solvers, and this is because we have more than 11 years in the market, but also because we have done partnerships with other open innovation platforms, because this is what we are, an open innovation platform. And we have made a partnership with the best also open innovation platforms. One is HeroX from the United States, and the other one is Innocentive, that it's in UK, and we share the solvers together. So together we have 1.6 million solvers. So for that reason, we had to develop artificial intelligence and machine learning in our platform. And now we can solve any kind of challenge in our platform in 4 to 6 weeks. And also we have a success rate of 95%. The areas, the sectors that we are working are areas like the health sector, the industrial sector, the banking sector, the insurance sector. But in these 2 years of the pandemic, we have saw that all the challenges that were submitted in our platform were linked to challenges that are to improve the efficiency of the organization. So all the challenges are very linked to artificial intelligence and machine learning. So for that reason, most of our solvers, the researchers that we have in our platform, are mostly engineers. So we have mostly 59% of our solvers are engineers, 28% are from the basic sciences, physics, chemistry, and mathematics, 9% are from the health sector, and 4% are from from business, marketing, and arts. From InnoCrowd, the solvers from InnoCrowd, they are coming mostly from Europe, then from North America, then Asia, Oceania, South America, and Africa. These are some of our partners. We work with the best universities of the world. MIT is an example. Stanford, Carnegie Mellon, University of Penn, Fraunhofer from Germany, and some Asian universities, but also NASA and European Space Agency. And also, as you can see, HeroX and Innocentive are our partners. They are our competitors, but also they work with us as a partners because they share the solvers with us. These are our business models. So anyone, any seeker, any organization that want to submit a challenge, and this challenge can be a challenge related to innovation of any kind of product or technology, they have to first pay us 5,000 euros, then to see the solutions, and this is within 60 days, they have to pay us more 10,000 euros. And for the solver, for the researcher, they have to pay a prize, an award, and this is between 5,000 euros and 50,000 euros. And also they have to pay to the solver the IP, so the patent if they have, or if they don't have, the transfer of the knowledge to the solver. These are some success cases that we have until now. Most of our seekers, our organizations, they are anonymous. These seekers that we have here are the seekers that have gave us authorization to have their logotypes here. On the right are the seekers that are from HeroX, our partners, and on the left are the seekers that have submitted challenges at InnoCrowd platform. These are some examples that we had last year. Metro do Porto was, it's a railway station, and they wanted to eliminate the fraud because they had a lot of fraud here at Porto, and they want to identify the people that don't have tickets. But the problem was the GDPR, and they don't want it to recognize the faces of the people. So the solution had to be with some sensors, with LiDAR technology, and they had to use the artificial intelligence. And we had achieved this with a narrow rate, less than 5%. Other success that we had was with the biggest lab here in Portugal. They have asked us to read their analysis with artificial intelligence techniques to read more faster the lab results, and to help the pathologist to diagnose in a faster way, and to help the physicians to diagnose the disease in a faster way. This is a tendency in the health sector also. The other challenge that we have solved was for the biggest bank here in Portugal also. They have asked us to ask the solver for an algorithm with the artificial intelligence to see what is the best day and time to contact the people, a person, for the call center to contact one person. So according to your professional status, your family status, what is the best time for Soraya to be contacted? So if I work, if I have a family, so it's like a big brother, but it's an algorithm customized for each person. And last, this is, four examples that I have found to give an example. This is from a construction company. They wanted to identify a technological solution that to monitorize in real time the machines that they have. Because the machines that they have more than 1,000 machines with a lot of different computers inside, but they want to know what is the machine that will fail, and what is the machine that will fail in 1 year and in 2 years. And also, and for this, they have to put sensors in all the machines, and also to put in artificial intelligence in all the machines that they had. And for this, they will gain efficiency and they will gain quality on their operations. And this is for all around the world, because they are operating all around the world. They are operating in Africa and South America, and also in Portugal. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Thank you, Soraya. Amazing example of the application of artificial intelligence. Thank you so much. Okay, as I said before at the beginning of the webinar, finally, Miguel Pombo, founder of Ignite, a company located in Nonagon, the Science and Technology Park of Saint Miguel Island, in Azores Island, is unable to be here with us because has a health problem. So he asked me to say hello, everyone. Looks forward to participating in an upcoming webinar. So let's go now to our finalist speakers. Carlos Cerqueira, Business Developer Manager, and Marta Guimaraes, IT Leader at Neurospace. Neurospace is a company located in Instituto Pedro Nunes. It's amazing because it's the first and only company to use artificial intelligence and machine learning to combat space collisions. So let's go. It's very interesting, the topic of today. So when you want, the time is from.
Okay, so thank you very much for the invitation to come here. I'll be presenting the our company together with Marta Guimaraes, my colleague. I'm Carlos Cerqueira, business developer at Neurospace, and Marta Guimaraes is responsible for the AI. So actually, she'll be the one that will really talk about AI. Let me start just by introducing you to two pieces of news in December. So in November, December, the astronauts at the International Space Station were forced to shelter themselves, so to go into a special place because there was the threat of space debris. So space debris is actually trash that goes around the Earth, traveling around 25,000 kilometers per hour. So even, you know, a piece of this size, if it hits the station, it will really blow the whole thing. And they were forced to look for shelter. The other pieces of news that you see there is that the Chinese space station were forced to change their orbit, so go up or go down, because there was the possibility not of a crash with space debris, but in this case with another satellite, a satellite of SpaceX, you know, the Elon Musk company. Now you might say, okay, this is dangerous, this is important, but I'm not an astronaut, so why should I really care about these? Are there not more important problems in the world? Well, there are certainly more important problems in the world, but the thing that we have to be aware of is that we are absolutely dependent on satellite technology. So if you open your cell phone and you look at the apps that use satellite technology and are really, you know, a constant in our daily life, it probably will be all of them. Remember the last time you travel to a place you didn't know and you didn't use your GPS? That's satellite technology. Fighting, you know, climate change with Earth observation, or using Google Maps just to look for something in a map, that's satellite technology. When you go to your app of your bank and you do the authentication, you know, trying to prove that it's really you and not another person accessing your bank account, that's satellite technology to estimate the place where you are located. And for instance, if you log now in Coimbra or in Madrid, and 5 minutes from now, there's another log, but in a different geography, in Asia or America, that could possibly be a fraud. So that's satellite technology preventing financial fraud. And of course, the internet is totally dependent nowadays on satellite technology. But the whole thing, and as you can see here from the picture, is being trashed by the enormous amount of trash that is out there and can really, you know, crash all this infrastructure. And this infrastructure will grow. And that's a good thing, because some of the problems of the future will be solved by satellite technology. For instance, autonomous driving, better cities, less cars in the cities, autonomous, even planes or ships that can improve our logistics. That will happen because of 5G, and 5G will happen because of more satellites and more accurate satellites. Telemedicine and operating from one place with a robot that is in another place, it's already happened and will be more accurate. And you do want to the technology to be accurate when you're having a surgery or an operation, and it will be more accurate because of the growing number of satellites that are putting 5G technology and even 6G. So, but if we have problems with 6,000 satellites, now imagine what can happen with 100,000 satellites. So the point here is this is going to be a market that will grow. This is already happening. People, in this case, Morgan Stanley estimates that the new space economy can worth something like $1 trillion in the next 20 years. And space global situational awareness, or space traffic manager, or whatever you want to call it, managing the stuff that is out there in outer space, can reach $1.5 billion just by 2027. It's a real market, and well, European companies, Portugal, Spain we have to position ourselves in this market. So we need more European companies in this market. We need to invest more in this market, and we are doing it. The number of companies in Europe that are reaching this market is being astonishing. Of course, one tends to look at the great examples that come from US, like SpaceX and other companies. But the fact that Neurospace and other companies are being VC backed, we already assure investment from VCs, and this will be an effort that will pay in wealth, in qualified jobs, and in a position of these companies as global players. The vision that we have is that more satellites in space will be a good thing for humankind, but only if we take care of space as, like the oceans or Earth. We have to look at it as, human heritage that has to be taken care of. It can be a business, but it also has to be an environment that we really take care of. And for that vision, we want to work, of course, with our customers, satellite operators, but also insurance carriers, because, having better tools to price the asset of a satellite is important, and regulators and policymakers, because, like, air traffic or the traffics in roads, traffic in space somehow will need to have a regulation for, those 100,000 satellites to have rules, like who goes left, who goes right, like in your daily life when you're driving a car, you have rules, and there has to be rules also to accommodate this operation. Of course, we have partners to do this. I just want to highlight that we are working heavily with ESA, our European Space Agency. Universities are crucial for this. When you put AI and machine learning into a tool, of course, you have to use state-of-the-art research that has been producing in this case, 3 Portuguese universities we work with. Industrial partners are very important, and here I would highlight a big space company that it's GMV, a Spanish company that we're doing a very important partnership with them, and of course we have the backup of the Portuguese Space Agency. Yes, we have competition. There are other players in this field. This is a growing market, so it's good if more players appear because it shows the strength of the market. Right now, I will have to highlight Leo Labs, an American company, and Slingshot as probably the biggest, players right now in this market. Indra and Deimos, actually two Spanish companies. I would highlight them more probably as a partner because they are in this a market, but more collecting data and probably as being our partners. Before passing the word to Marta to talk you how AI can really help to build this tool, I just wanted to highlight that in any tech company, the secret sauce normally it's not only or not especially the technology, but it's the people. And in order to deliver this product, we really had to assemble this group of very talented people, people on machine learning and AI like Marta, Marias and Mariana, but also people who are expert on the flight dynamics, so the calculation of the orbits of the satellites. And so having that in mind, I will pass the ball to Marta. Marta, the floor is yours to talk us about how new markets demand new tools.
Thanks, Carlos. And hello, everybody. So as Carlos was mentioning, Neurospace, it's all about a novel data-driven end-to-end solution. And we aim at having features like tracking and monitoring, collision avoidance, and also optimized maneuvers. But I believe the question that you all might have right now is why using artificial intelligence? And as again, Carlos was mentioning, the number of satellites in orbits has been increasing, and the number of objects in orbit, it's always increasing, and the operators cannot keep up with this rapid growth. And of course, this can have some consequences. And besides, it's also really important to emphasize that the uncertainties associated with these objects is really large, especially when we are talking about space debris, which are very small objects. We are talking about objects with 1 centimeter, for example. And this means that, in fact, it's very difficult to know precisely the exact location of these objects in space. And furthermore, and even to highlight this even more, the physics inherent to this problem is not linear, and it highly depends on many factors, for example, drag forces or space weather, which makes it even more difficult to accurately predict the orbits of all these objects. And this is where Neurospace arises to solve this problem of space debris. And Carlos, if you can, okay, thanks. So our platform has a wide variety of features, as you can see here, but I would like to highlight the virtual assistant. This is a persona, and in fact, Neurospace is a she, and she's present throughout the platform to let the user know if there's something that the operator should be worried about, if something is happening or not, and also to give some suggestions regarding the collision avoidance. Carlos, yeah, can pass to the next one. Okay, thanks. So our goal is to tackle the challenges of the current solution, that is reliability, operational workload, and of course, decision-making time. And these are the pillars of the collision avoidance decision-making process. And without a robust, scalable, efficient, and coherent aggregation of all these topics, it's almost impossible to automate this process. Imagine, for example, a big company like Starlink. Starlink might have an automated process for the operators working 24/7 or conjunction monitoring and analysis. But this is not enough to ensure full automation and, of course, good predictions. And in the next slide, as you can see, Neurospace brings together some really important features to tackle all these problems that I just mentioned. We have data fusion and AI and explainability and an automated solution. Data fusion is really important, and the goal here is to create a single and fault-tolerant data source to allow better informed decisions. AI, as already mentioned, is able to understand complex patterns in the data that for us as humans, it's almost impossible. And in contrast to the black box concept, explainable artificial intelligence is a set of tools that allow the understanding and interpretation of the AI and machine learning models. So it's really important to consider explainability as well. And finally, to have a robust and scalable architecture, it's really important to automate the solution and to streamline the entire decision-making process. And that's it. That's Neurospace. That's us. And Carlos, I pass the ball back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Marta. Just to finish the presentation, picture this, like in Hollywood movies. You are in a room, there's going to be a meteorite or something to crash your satellite, you have panic, you have to take decision on stress, and everything is, rushing. And of course, this is no way to conduct a business. What really we want to give satellite operators is a tool to know better, understand better, plan better, and take better decisions. And AI is really the key tool for people to make decisions, but it's an assistance. In the end, it's a tool for people to do better their jobs. And that was us in a nutshell. Thank you very much. And I'm now open to questions if any arise.
Okay, thank you, Carlos and Marta. Very, very good example. Also, the benefits of AI in this case in aerospace sector. Okay, now the audience can start a debate with questions. If the audience wants, can write or turn off the microphone and ask our speakers whatever they want. So if anyone can ask something to our speaker, now is the time. We have 15 minutes to do question and answer. Is anybody has a question for our speaker? Carlos and Marta, I have a question. I don't know if you know Apophis, because I saw in the news Apophis is an asteroid that some predict could have a collision with the Earth in 2029. Do you know, could you tell us something about this possibility? You are working on that.
Marta, I believe you would know better than me about this one.
That specific case, it's, let's say, a bit tricky because this is not space debris. So Neurospace is more about everything that is on orbit. And other than that, of course, you can have different scenarios and even, sadly, example like the mission to anti-satellite missions. But this is a bit out of scope of Neurospace, at least for now. We are more into in-orbit satellites. So, but yeah, this is something that can happen, and this is why we need some rules out there in the space, and that's all about situational awareness. I don't know, Carlos, maybe you can add something here.
Just adding that in this growing market, in the value chain of space, there are lots of different players position themselves. For instance, I just had a meeting before this webinar with an Italian company that will launch satellites to collect better data on space debris, but also not in their case, but in some companies to collect better data on what's going in the outer space. So it's not where the market is pointing, but as you rightly said, we need to be aware of situations like these. There will be, of course, scientific missions to predict that, but there will also be a commercial market to predict what's going out there and how it can impact the operations. And the operations, I didn't delve too much into that, but there are two things that probably will happen in the near future. for this. One is, you know, the mining of asteroids, for instance. I'm located in Coimbra, but I'm from the north of Portugal. And right now there's a huge debate about extracting lithium, you know, for the electric cars batteries in some places. Of course, everybody wants electric cars, but as long as the mining is not in my backyard. And if you can go to asteroids and take, you know, rare minerals and bring them back to Earth, in principle, that would be more, let's say, ecological for Earth. The other point is also to put heavy industries in space. It looks like science fiction, but people are really betting on that. And also it kind of points us into a situation where Earth would be a kind of an ecological reserve, and what's more hazard would go to other places. And you do need technology to do that. You need sensors. You need to extract better data, and that's really where we position ourselves.
Okay, I understand. So I encourage the audience to do some questions, because you have a big opportunity to talk with a big expert in this case of AI and also 5D and reality augmenting. So please do some questions to our speaker of today.
Well, I have one question for the audience, actually.
Okay.
Is there anybody in the audience working with satellite operators, or people from this? Because in Spain there are amazing companies in this area. You know, from, of course, the giants like GMV, Deimos, and Indra, but also very, you know, really cool startups like, you know, Alan Space, Satellite IoT from Catalonia. Yeah, amazing companies that are doing incredible stuff. So if anybody in the audience are from these companies or no person for these companies, I would gladly welcome some interest.
Yes, Alejandro Mousic, he wrote in the chat, yes, Thales Alenia space here.
Okay, cool. So maybe we can, Alexander, I'll get your name, and maybe we can chat afterwards, you know, about the things that we're doing and we can do together.
Okay. I have a question for Luis of KIT AR. You know what is the benefit in cost of the application of your solution in whatever manufacturing organization? You have
we have, yeah, actually that's something that we're still working on, in the sense that we only started to have customers not so long ago. So we are now still working on that, but still, let me give you two of the information that we already have. So the first one was when we started our first customer, and it was an automotive brand, a luxury automotive brand. When we installed the pilot, that was usually that entails part of the sales process that we have entails having a pilot that proves the benefit of the software for that specific company. And 1 month after installing the pilot, the company said that they wanted to keep on having the pilot while they sorted out the procurement of the commercial license, because it had already paid the commercial license for the full year. So that specifically for that customer worked out quite well. Regarding some of the projects that we developed, or some of the pilots that we already developed, we also have some pointers, like 20%, for instance, decrease on time to competence. We also had on yet another an acceleration, a full acceleration of 1 minute in the takt time, and this was on an electronics manufacturing company. So overall, there are a lot of specific benefits that are directly dependent of the use case that we are catering to. Still, I would say that one that is transversal, that is horizontal to all of the use cases, is the full digitalization of the process. So just the sheer fact of the information following the worker as he is doing everything, and for him to be able to say or to look or even to again through gestures also point which information needs to be updated, instead of actually going to a screen and then pressing, or going to this A4 sheet of paper and writing it down, accounts for a lot of time being saved, and that of course has a huge impact in productivity.
Okay, thank you. I have a question for Soraya. Soraya, are you there? I don't know if, yes, Soraya. As founder of Chrome, I would like to know how was the idea was born, and how was the process to have the idea and the end to create this open platform.
Thank you for the question. The idea was because I was a researcher on the pharmacy industry, and I was a researcher for oncology field, and I was feeling very lonely to do research with 5 colleagues of mine. I was a pharmacist, and I had a colleague a physician, and then a biologist, and we had to find some things regarding breast cancer. And I thought, well, why in the hurt these people think that 5 people will achieve a cure for cancer. So I thought that, well, I would like to have help of like some people from United States or from German or other people. So I would like to connect other people. So I started to email people in to help some help. And then 2010, Facebook appeared, and also LinkedIn appeared. And I started to think, wow, I'm going to found a platform that can link researchers from all around the world, and to share ideas and solutions, and to put all the people think together to accelerate innovation. And that's where my idea came.
Okay, thank you. Any question from the audience? We have a silent audience today. So if anyone has a question, only to say thank you so much to our speaker of webinar today. Thank you so much for participating in our webinar. It was a pleasure to having us with us today. So, and I hope to see you in a coming webinar. That's all. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Okay.
Bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much.